Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mary's Creative Decor. On today, we'll be painting this dresser and chest. Now, this is not wood, but it is a heavy particle board, so we're going to treat it like wood. Now, as you can see on the top of the dresser, there's a lot of water damage. So I'm going to have to try and smooth that out because I want to paint the top in a dark brown and the body of both pieces in a black. So stay tuned, guys, and we're going to go forward. We want to wash our furniture down with warm soapy water, then use the liquid sand to scrub off all the shine on top of the furniture. We want to remove all of our drawers, as well as the doors on both of the cabinets. And I'll be setting them aside. Now we're ready to sand the furniture. I'm using a 180 grit sandpaper to sand the top of the dresser. And this is just to smooth out some of the water damage. I'll be switching back to a 220 grit sandpaper to sand the sides of the furniture as well as the drawer fronts and the doors. Even though we use the clean strip liquid sander to scrub the shine off the top of the furniture, there's still some shine left, so we're just using this 220 grit sandpaper to ensure that we are removing enough of the shine so that our primer will adhere to the surface. And yet again, I'm wiping down the furniture with a damp cloth, and then I'll take a tack cloth and wipe it again. This is to ensure that you're leaving no grit or grime behind on the furniture. It seems like a lot, but in the end, if you follow these measures, your paint will go on and your piece will look beautiful. Once I sanded and washed everything down again, I decided to go ahead and take the hardware off the drawers. It would make it easier for me to paint. I'm sorry I said drawers, but I meant doors. I'm taking the hardware off the doors. Now it's time for the fun stuff. All my sanding has been done, my cleaning has been done, and we're ready for the primer. I'm using the Zinsser 123 primer in white, and I will be switching up to gray. I'm just using the primer that I have on hand. So we're going to start with the white, and we'll be painting all the pieces with one coat, and right now I'm starting to paint in the crevices first. I will be painting this with a brush to ensure that I get a good amount of coverage in all the little creases that are made in the door fronts. Now I'm switching over to a roller to apply my first thin layer of primer. And here's my furniture pieces with one coat of the primer, and I'm about to go to my second coat. The top of my dresser is still not as smooth as I would like, so I will be sanding it once again with some 220 grit sandpaper to make sure that it is smooth. Now I'm about to add my second coat of primer to my pieces, ensuring that I don't leave any hair or debris in my paint. Once my second coat of primer is added, I am going to use my 220 grit sandpaper just to rough it up a bit before I add my third coat of primer, which will be the light gray. I've lightly sanded my furniture with my 220 grit sandpaper. Now I want to take a damp cloth and wipe it down, ensuring that I don't leave any dust or debris behind. Here I'm applying my third coat of primer, which is the gray. I chose the gray because it'll be easier to cover up the gray primer with my black paint. Once my gray primer has been added, I turn my attention back to the dresser top. Once again, I'm using my 180 grit sandpaper. I'm trying to get the top of the dresser as smooth as possible. Again, I will be painting it in the brown family, so I don't want there to be any bubbles or lumps left in the furniture. So I'm going to continue sanding it until I get a smooth surface. My primer has dried on all my pieces, and now we're ready for paint. I'll be using today my Modern Masters Metallic Black Pearl paint on my furniture. I'll be using a brush to apply my Modern Masters paint today. To apply our paint today, we'll be using light layers to cover the lighter color. Black sometimes take a little while or many coats to cover, but we're going to do 3 to 4 coats of the black, and we're going to take our time and again use those light layers of paint until we get the desired black. One layer of black metallic paint has been added to all of my furniture pieces, and we're ready to apply our second layer. Again, we'll be using light layers of paint until we get to the desired black. The final layer of paint, we will use a roller to ensure that we have a smooth surface. Here on the drawer fronts, I've already added 2 coats of my paint, and I'm sanding in between, just roughing it up enough so that my third layer of paint will bite or grab onto the surface. You don't want to rough it up, you just want to knock down any bubbles or anything that's not smooth on the surface of your furniture. Remembering, when you're done sanding your furniture down, you want to take a tack cloth and wipe your furniture down, ensuring that you're not leaving any dust or debris behind before you continue painting with your third coat of paint. This is 2 coats of paint on all my drawers. And this is what 3 coats look like on my door fronts. I've added 2 coats of paint on my armoire or chest and 1 coat on my dresser because I'm still sanding the top. I decided to lay the chest on its back so that I can work on the legs. On the legs, I decided to do a different color, so I went with a Rust-Oleum classic bronze paint. I'm going to do the legs of the furniture as well as the top of the furniture in the classic bronze. As you can see, I've already started to brush on the classic bronze paint on the outer corners of the dresser top. I brushed on my first coat and rolled on my second coat, and now that my second coat is on, I am taking my sander and knocking down any rough spots. And once I wipe down the white spots, I use the cloth to wipe off any debris. After which, I rolled on 2 more coats of the classic bronze paint. Now it's time to seal my furniture. To seal my furniture, I will be using polyacrylic in the satin finish. I'll also use a little bit of the classic bronze paint. I will mix the two together and start to brush it onto my furniture. I added the classic bronze paint to the polyacrylic to give it a smoother look. This is the first time I've tried this, so we'll see how it turns out. Also, I can see in adding this paint to the polyacrylic, it makes it easy for you to see where you put your polyacrylic so you don't brush over too much. I'll add my first 2 coats of polyacrylic. I'll let them dry, and then I will sand in between again to make sure I'm not leaving any air bubbles, and wipe it down so that I'm not leaving any debris. And here is my completed project. I think it turned out really beautiful, and I hope my client enjoys it as much as I. She wasn't sure what she wanted. All she wanted was the furniture to be black. I added the hardware, which I ordered in a bright gold, but I didn't like the gold with it. So what I did was took a little bronze paint, added it to the hardware to give it this old world look. And if you guys have enjoyed this video and its content, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Share it with your friends and family. And give me a thumbs up. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all my subscribers. I love you guys so much. And thank you for all of those who are sharing and having your friends and family that watch. Thank you all again, and I love you. I want to apologize for the bright light, but this furniture is in my family room and is sitting by the patio door, so there is a lot of sunlight. I want to say thanks for watching. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.